They're going to kill net neutrality. Barack Obama almost did it, and the guy he appointed, Ajit Pai, is going to do it. So, and by the way, a couple Democrats went along with getting this guy reappointed, Ajit Pai, to do this. And so so you know why that's bad. Net neutrality is important because the speed at which everybody gets access is the same. So now without net neutrality, now they can charge you more money to use the Google's. Let's say if you have Verizon is your internet provider. They own Yahoo. So they'll let you use a Google search engine like Yahoo for free, but they'll charge you for Google, or they'll charge you to use Dogpile, or charge you to use DuckDuckGo. Do you see how this works? So they have ways to get rid of competition, and that's what this is all about. They can make you pay more money to see a progressive website, which, by the way, Google's already doing that. They're already throttling places like commondreams.org. So that's already happening. So anything else you want to say about how bad net neutrality is before we get into the protest?
Well, net neutrality is good.
I mean, net neutrality is good, but repealing it is bad, yeah.
It's bad. So I caught the tail end of Ajit Pai today on NPR, and of course, there are all bunch of softball questions, and he made it sound like nothing's gonna change, everything's gonna be fine, don't worry. Everyone who's upset by this, they're just being alarmist. So, you're gonna have that spin, and folks are asking, well, why did net neutrality get spiked by the FCC? Why did the other side win? Don't Google and Amazon and Apple have a lot of money too? They do, but Ajit Pai he's a Verizon guy.
Yeah,
that's where he was from. So we know how this is going to work. One day Ajit will leave the FCC and he'll work for, let me guess, I'm gonna prognosticate Verizon, and I'm gonna guess he'll get paid very handsomely there.
Yes,
that's how it works.
So we go ahead, Malcolm. You want to say
something? Well, what's interesting about this situation, or one thing I find interesting about it, is that we focus on Donald Trump, how horrible Donald Trump is, and so on and so forth. But Ajit Pai could have more harmful long-term consequences for the nation and the world because of this decision than Donald Trump. Because what the internet has allowed for us. I mean, you just know that all the freedom that we have experienced because of the net neutrality over the past 25 years or so is the kind of thing that the executives at Comcast, they just hate it.
Yes.
They just hate it, it's just free. It's just there are people interacting on their pipe. Those are our pipes, and they're just getting free. We don't get to charge, we're gonna put a little toll booth in there and skim a little off the top. What the fuck is going on here? And now finally they're going to get their wish, and we're all screwed. I mean, the potential consequences of this, they're really immeasurable considering how the internet has become just a part of the fabric of our lives, and they're just gonna tear it apart.
And so people say, well, Facebook won't be throttled and you'll be able to get, yeah, but then Facebook does its own internal censorship, right? So then they'll ban your account if you post a story they don't like. It just happened to a friend of mine. Or believe me, when progressives start to use any kind of media that threatens the establishment, they will shut that down immediately. Look what they did to MSNBC. It was threatening the establishment, they fired Phil Donahue. It threatened the net neutrality, it fired Ed Schultz. There you go.
Well, and also, I mean, look, even if you make the argument that Facebook will be okay, well, they'll be okay because they have a lot of money. So let's say Verizon.
But you could communicate through Facebook.
Right.
But Facebook could also shut you down.
Well, that's a separate issue. But the point is, if Verizon slows the internet way down and you have to pay a toll to have better speeds, well, Facebook, they could afford that toll.
Yes.
But maybe the Young Turks can't.
Right.
Jimmy Dore can't.
Right.
So Facebook now has this massive advantage over you on top of the other advantages they've already had.
Yep.
So you're forced to go to Facebook, but now you're at their mercy because they can control everything else there. So it compounds a problem, and it really limits that free market and the competition that we theoretically all care about. So that's a real problem there. And I have a lot of friends who are Indian American, and they're often very proud of Indian Americans in media and in politics who have, risen to great heights, but not so proud of this guy.
Ajit Pai?
Yeah, they're not proud of him. And I tell them that Ajit Pai is to Indian Americans what John Yoo is to Korean Americans. Two folks who've climbed the ranks of our political system to do great damage to our society for a very long period of time. And for those who don't know, John Woo is a guy who authored the torture memos under the Bush administration that justified torture as enhanced interrogation.
Yep, that's John Yoo. So what can we do about it? What can we do? There's really not much to do, but I say we go out with one big last harangue, And if you go to my computer, VerizonProtest.com, they're doing one. The new chairman of the FCC was a top lawyer at Verizon. Now he's calling for a vote to kill net neutrality. We're protesting at retail stores across the United States to demand that Congress stop Verizon's puppet FCC from destroying the internet as we know it. So this is going to happen on December 7th. And you go to VerizonProtest.com. There's a map there that shows you all the different cities where they're going to be doing these protests. There's the map, right? So you can click find a protest. You could also host a protest. If there isn't a protest happening in your city, you can host a protest. And why Verizon? Well, the new chairman is Ajit Pai of the FCC. He's a former top lawyer for Verizon, and the company has been spending millions on lobbying and lawsuits to kill net neutrality so they can gouge us all for more money. By protesting at Verizon stores, we're shining a light on the corruption and demanding that our local do something about it. Only Congress has the power to stop Verizon's puppet FCC. So at the protests, we'll be calling and tweeting at legislators, and in cities where it's possible, we'll march from Verizon stores to lawmakers' offices. And how can you join? Well, you go there, you click there, there's a map, you can sign up, and it's gonna happen on December 7th. And protests representing growing grassroots backlash to the FCC's plan, which polls show is widely unpopular with people from across the political spectrum. If you enjoyed this clip of Aggressive Progressives, you know there's a 90-minute show waiting for you at the Young Turks Network. Go to tytnetwork.com/join to see all our content.